the parasha, it mentions about returning Avedat Achicha. If someone loses an article, could be a shor, could be an ox, could be a say, could be sheep, could be his clothes, any part, anything which belongs to him, we have a mitzvah to return it to the owner, to the Jew, the owner who's a Jew. ולא התעלמת מהם, it's also an issue to turn your face away from it. You pretend you don't see it. So you have to, can't be bothered. I have to pick it up. I have to take it home. I have to announce whose it belongs to and find the owner and then give it back. The Torah says, "Lo yuchal להתעלם." You're not allowed to shut your eye from it. Yeshiv teshivim lo. You've got to give it back to him. We have a responsibility for to return a lost article to a Jew. Return it. Take care of it. And the Gemara brings a tremendous story of Rav Chanina ben Dosa. He found a pair of birds which was left over there. Someone had forgotten and probably had rested in that spot outside his house and gone home, forgotten to pick it up. He took it in and he looked after these chickens, whatever they were. They started giving eggs, right? But so he began to invest the eggs. He sold it and he bought something else with it, and eventually he bought some sheep with it and then some cows. He really looked after it. And when the man came back many years later, about 5 years later, he says, a few years ago I left her. He said, yes, this is what you have. And he gave him all the produce which had been converted into something which you could sustain, because when you have an article which will eat more than its value, then we don't keep it. We sell it and we keep the money for it. But he did much more than that. He invested it and he made it, gave him back. That's Rav Chanina ben Dosa. We're not expected to do so much. That's a midat chasidut. But we have an obligation to return a lost article to another Jew. We have to care for our brothers. His articles should be as valuable as ours. If we lose something, we would like someone to give it back to us. And that's what we should do. But there is an allegorical explanation for the pasuk, which pasukim we say, that given by the Or HaChaim HaKadosh. The Or HaChaim HaKadosh says like this: Lo tirei et shor achicha u'etzev nidachim u'italamta mehem hashev teshivim le'achicha. He says achicha we'll find in the words of Chazal, of our rabbis. Achicha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can refer to God. Achicha. When we're on the same level, when we do His will, and He is called our brother. He calls us brother. And therefore, when a shor is not referring to the animal, but there's some people who behave like shvarim, like a shor, like animals, like a behemah. They're gone off. He says, but it's shor achicha. Don't forget the Jew. The person belongs to God. He belongs to Hashem. You have an obligation to bring him back. Yeshiv teshivim lo. If you see him nidachim, you see him gone off the way, he's pushed off, he's gone off the way, don't give up on him. Do something to bring him back, because he belongs to Hashem. He's also a son of God, like you are. You are achicha, so he's talking to people on a high level. Achicha, take the trouble to bring him back. Give him back to Hashem. Now there's two expressions, shor and seh. Shor is an ox and seh is a sheep. Why? What are the two things? Shor are people. Shor goes off on his own way. He's nidachim. He goes off the path. He's gone off. Seh is sheep. Sheep follow others. Many times among our people, it's not because they go off. They let off. They follow others. And we see in the world, this world is such a corrupt world and enticing world, and people go out of the way to draw people to what they believe in. And therefore he's like a slave, he's following on. Whether it's a shore, he's going off himself, or whether he's following others and going off. Yeah? You have an obligation, Hashiv, Teshivem lo. Give him back. Bring him. Now, Im Rachok Achicha. You know, when we had the Beit HaMikdash, it was easy. You brought him to the Beit HaMikdash, and all his doubts disappeared. And he was enlightened, and he was inspired. And it all became easy. But nowadays we are far. Ki rachok achicha. Kodesh Baruch Hu's further away. We are in Galut. It's not so close. So what can you do to bring him back? Says you should bring him back. Elecha ve'im lo karov achicha elecha. Like we are in the Galut. Hashem is far. There's no Beit HaMikdash. ולא ידעתו, ואספתו את תוקפתך. Bring him into your home. Says the Or HaChaim, ביתך is a Beit HaMidrash, a place of learning. Bring him to learn Torah. Just teach him a little bit of Torah, and you see how that spark in him will ignite with the Torah. And that will help to bring him back. We don't have a Beit HaMikdash, but we have a Beit HaMidrash. And that's a place of Torah. And I want to add, El Betecha can also mean your home. You know, invite him to your home. Let's see what a Jewish home is, what a Shabbat is like. And that will inspire him and bring him back as well. So we have that obligation, not only to Ross, the lost articles belong to our brother, but our brother himself, if he's gone off, to bring him back to Hashem. Shabbat Shalom.